Alright, so we got Carlitos. First of all, obviously Carlitos S tier. Come on. S tier characters, 100% Carlitos. Then we got Rosemary. Okay, so we got Rosemary. Rosemary, she's an interesting character. We don't see much about her considering not episode 5's not out yet, and my theory is, of course, that episode 5 is going to be predominantly based around her. So when it comes to Rosemary, she's an awesome character. She's loving, she's caring, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to put her in a nice B. I think B is safe for Rosemary. I think it's very solid. So now we have Buzu. S tier. So we got Buzu in S tier, of course. I mean, you know me. I'm obviously going to put Buzu in S tier. And guess what? He's going to have a friend in S tier, along with Carlitos, with the Pumpkin Rabbit. It's self-explanatory. It's me, Pumpkin Rabbit. It's easy. Now we have the Ghost Hunter from FindJackWalten.com. How do I remember that? But yeah, we've got the Ghost Hunter. I think... I can't remember this dude's name. But, I think I'm gonna go for I think D tier. I mean, like, it's FindJackWalten.com. You know, I have to find. You know, it's very interesting. You know, it's one of them things. I think that's Ashley. Is that Ashley? Yeah, that's Ashley, because that's Kevin and I want to say James, but it's definitely Kevin and someone, because that's Kevin Woodings. Fun fact: I'm pretty sure that's Susan's nephew. I think. I don't know if that's canon. I don't know. But this is Ashley. I think Ashley is very similar to Rosemary, to where we don't really get much of her, but we do get a good bit of exposition from her in episode 2. However, she's really dumb and goes to the back room of an abandoned bunker with killer animatronics. So I think a C tier is a valid point for Ashley. But yeah, Ashley's gonna go into a C tier. I think that's valid. I think that's valid. I think. Okay, we got, this is Ding Ding. Hey, I did get it right, so it is Kevin Woodings. Hey, let's go. Wait, is it James as well? I don't have James, or I was convinced on Kevin though. I'm actually convinced if the Walten Falls was a subject in school, I would get 100%. Unless it was like who is Bond, and then all of a sudden I crash out. So yeah, we got this is Bonnie from the Mysterious House episode. Now is there another photo of Bonnie, or is this just the photo they've used for Bonnie? Cause to me this looks like just the photo they've used for Bonnie, and I think it is. See you later, Sam. Appreciate you. No, the Bonnie's there. Never mind. Okay, so this is Buzu as Ghost Bonnie. I think C tier as well. I don't think it's fair to put side characters from a side episode higher than the likes of Rosemary or something like that. I don't think that's fair. So I think Bonnie definitely in a C tier is fair. Same with the likes of Chris. Now this is Chris, obviously Chris Easter year, if I remember correctly. Again, all we know from Chris that I know of personally is just this still image of him in episode 2 when the car drives off with the animatronics in the back, and then we get the creepy face, presumably Jack Walten or someone, in something to do with the animatronics anyway. So I think D tier for Chris, just because we haven't really seen much of him, and I'm assuming we will get something to do with him, because he is obviously, that is during the Relocate project, which is 82, but I think Ashley gets killed in 78, which is really confusing, because obviously in the lead up to the Relocate project. So is Sophie one of Chris's mates? Probably not. Are they aware of each other? Are they the same age? God knows. Yeah, I'm gonna start crashing out if I continue. Now we got Buzu from Buzu's Ghosts. I think this is a valid placement. I think that's a valid placement. That dude sucks. That Buzu sucks. Of course, he's Ebenezer Scrooge, but he's Buzu Scrooge or something like that in the episode. He's a douchebag. I think that's a very fair analysis, that Buzu is a D tier character because he's just a douche. But yeah, now we got Billy from, obviously, the Mysterious House again. I think this is another valid statement. We see him like one line, and he stands creepily in the corner when Tammy comes out of the bedroom, when Pumpkin Rabbit's chilling in the doorframe. Best shot of one of the best shots in the whole series, by the way. I think he's better than Bonnie, but not better than Ashley. I think that's a fair assumption. See you later, Sam. Love you, dude. Now we got a big boy, or big man, big entity, big demon theory. We got Bon. Now, I think this is very fair, because a lot of people will go, oh, Bon is he going to be S tier or A tier? Now, obviously, for the voice acting alone, this dude has to be S tier. Like, I'm sorry, It's like the hello, but it's like the kind of muffle. Oh, I can't even get my voice that deep, but I'm pretty sure it's Bravi. I think that's the voice actors. Like, I don't know if that's their actual. Obviously, I don't think it's their actual name, or I think it's their Twitter handle. I think, but that voice acting, 10 out of 10. Nah, Billy S tier. We'll get to actual Billy because I don't think that's. Yeah, we'll get to actual Billy. We don't know enough about him. About Bond, he's still S tier for me, dude. If he's still S tier for me, my man. Bond is S tier for the voice acting alone. Now we got Brian. Brian. See, this is weird because I'm convinced we're gonna get more of Brian. I know we are because that teaser that came out with Brian's ID card after he gets killed. Brian, I feel we're gonna get more of him. But yeah, as I was saying, I think it was Eva. Confirmed. Well, from my video anyway, I saw a screenshot that what happened to Brian with his eye getting taken out, his jaw being broken. I'd like to think we're gonna get more of him. I'd like to think. However, again, we just don't get much of him. It's one of them things where is he better than Ashley? No, no. Yeah, Eva. Okay, they're the same. Okay, I'll have that into my head now. Okay, so I'll say Eva then. All right, perfect. Okay, now we got my boy, my two boys. Yes, sir, Jack and Charles. Now, actually, I feel that's a nah. You know what? I'll leave bias aside. I'll leave bias aside. Now, if you're wondering why I have Charles so high, like especially over Rosemary, is because of his characteristics. Specifically, the conversation between Charles and not Rosemary and Susan in episode 4 when they're testing the facial recognition. Because that scene, I think it's like a 5-minute scene, and it leads into Susan's death. Dude, that interaction is so funny because realistically, you have Charles and Susan just chatting, and then I'm pretty sure it's Shah topples over the table, and you just hear Charles taking the piss out of Shah, and it's just funny. Like he's got character. I also think he's gonna hit Bond. I reckon he's gonna put up a fight against Bond because I've always said this. There has to be a reason someone gets like the worst of it. Brian had a test on Bond, and it seems to me that he got off lightly. And that was a lightly. And then we saw what happened to Charles. So I think Charles got the worst of it, and by far the most gruesome part of it. And I think that he will definitely put up a fight in some way, considering it's the day or the night of his daughter's birthday. So it was Barney. God damn, I thought again another 50-50 between Barney and Shah. But like, I love Susan and Charles's relationship, especially because in Lacrimosa we get Charles's like voice memo of Susan hasn't come back into work and all that sort of thing, and it's really really cool. So it's like when you see that Susan's dead or something's happening, Charles is like, dude, that's my friend. Where is she? Where is she? We need to know where she is. And he proper like goes crazy over it. You know what I mean? You're not saying anything about Charles. That's obvious. That's fair. But yeah. Let my boy have his spotlight. That's all I'm gonna say. Hopefully Martin lets him have his spotlight, because it seems to me that everyone is getting their spotlight in these next 3 episodes of episode 4, 5, and 6. With obviously Susan getting her spotlight in episode 4, likewise with Rosemary in episode 5, and I'm assuming Charles episode 6. That's always been my theory for like 4, 5, and 6 for each kill, and then we'll probably get Ashley's spotlight in more episode 7, 8, roughly, whenever they're being made or whatever it is. Now we got Witch Shah. Now, Witch Shah is really interesting because obviously we have the plushie out right now with the pumpkin rabbit. But I still believe in the idea of Jack being not as big as we thought. He just moved away after divorcing Rose. Oh, dude, that's a very wild theory. I don't think so. I think Jack went out and killed someone. I just think I feel like not Charles. I read a comment that said Charles's name. I reckon Jack went into a crash out. I mean, we know he had anger issues. I mean, we kind of saw that in the one scene we get with him banging on the door of Felix's house. So when it comes to Jack specifically, I feel that we're going to get something crazy. And the reason I say that, in the re-upload of episode 1, it's very emphasized at the end that Jack is there somewhere. Like, his face just pops up, and then it goes into white. Now, is that representing that Jack is dead and he's gone into the light and his photo disappears? Is that symbolizing that? God knows. But I will always think that Jack is Mr. Snow or Showbear. But how he became that, we don't know. But we'll see. I'm assuming that will be explained in like way down the line. I don't think we'll get that in episode 5 or 6. Probably not even 7. I reckon we're looking at season 2 for that, definitely. But we got Witch Shah. I love how I was talking about Witch Shaw and then went on to talk about the main character. Anyway, I think Witch Shaw there. Again, I mean, for me, Witch Shaw again, like it's still kind of like she's awesome. Don't get me wrong. Is she better than Brian? Probably, actually. That looks like now. This is obviously a shot in the dark. That looks like the reporter in the teaser for the teaser that came out with like the news report about Rosemary's screams. That's presumably going to be shown in episode 5. Um, I think that's him. I don't actually know. And judging on the fact that I'm just assuming that's him, I'm gonna say D tier, but not worse than Buzu. You're a mean one, Mr. Crankin. The Grinch would have had a heart attack. They know ways about your heart increasing 3 sizes, bro. oh no, Benny, what have you done? I always say that was the worst impression I think I've ever done. Oh wait, no, underneath it's Mr. Hibbs like, apples, apples. Hey, I can give you all the fruits you need. I love their accents so much. But we got pretty horse girl or whatever Bonnie says. What's the pretty horse girl or something. Beat the hippo and what was the horse's name? I can't remember the horse's name. Well, from episode 3 anyway. I think I think when it comes to these two characters, I'm gonna rank them together because they're very similar. Valid? Yeah, I think that's pretty valid. We got Ed. I think Ed deserves some justice, bro. He seemed pretty nice when it came to he seemed pretty nice when it came to like the ending of episode 4. Do you know where what's the name? Where like they're in the Wonderland and he's talking to Molly, basically saying, "Here, don't be too like crazy about it." I like Ed. I like both Ed and Molly, and I think they're really good characters. They're well written, and I think they're really good. Mr. Snow, valid. Because not only is Mr. Snow really, really well voice acted, I love the voice actor of Mr. Snow. I also think it's really creepy of how he appears in episode 3. I think episode 3 with him in the background of things is really creepy to me. I think the way you can see his face and the smile, everything's really uncanny with him. He's really creepy. His voice is awesome, of course. And to me, I just think it's really creepy. I don't know who either of these are. I'll be real. I don't know who these are. That's obviously the other character beside wait, Carl, I didn't even see that one. Yeah, I never seen that one of oh, my face cam's fallen. I've never seen that one of Bonnie's head or Susan's head, sorry. I can't remember what this dude's name is. I think that's self-explanatory really. So yeah. Self-explanatory, right? Again, F, no idea. That guy, I have no idea. What's this dude's name again? He's the voice recorder. Richie. Get in there. Richie's audio logs. They creep me out so much when I first saw them on FindJackWalten.com. I always found his last audio log to be really creepy. It's like the drip sound. I swear it's like a drip sound. It sounds like he's in like a sewer or something. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's working in the place during 74. Because I remember he mentions Rosemary coming in. But the thing is, about his voice recordings, he never mentions once about Jack being boss. Because surely he refers to Rosemary as some crazy lady coming in about her missing husband. He doesn't know who Jack is. So he refers to Felix as boss, and Norman, I'm assuming, as well. So when you see that, it's like, what happened with Jack? You know what I mean? So he's really cool. That's a really cool audio log, by the way. If you haven't seen Richie's audio logs, I have a video on it. Definitely go check it out. I think Richie's really cool. However, again, same thing with Brian Stells. We don't know much about him other than some voice lines. So I think he's there. I think that's fair. Here we have... Oh, it's a very good character. We have Shah from Buzu's Ghost, and I'm going to put Shah there. I think the Buzu's Ghost are the stronger side characters. However, when you come to Pumpkin Rabbit and Buzu himself and Mortality, I will take them as A, F, or B, A, and S tiers. When it comes to like Witch, Shah, Billy, that sort of thing, Banny, I would have them in the lower tier of S. Same with Kevin here. Very similar thing. I think that's Kevin anyway. Um, who is it? That's not supposed to be Sophie. That's Sophie there. Is that supposed to be Linda? I'm assuming that's supposed to be Linda Crankin. That's my guess. And you might, I mean, in the series they're never going to be together again. So I suppose in this tier list they could be together again. Now we got Molly. Same reasoning with Ed. I love Ed and Molly. I think they're really, really cool. I think they're really underrated characters. The fact that like the voice acting is really cool. You can see the innocence of Molly, especially in episode 3, where it's like, where she's trying to like comfort Felix when he's drunk. Like when he's driving, you hear her go, "Everything's gonna be okay," and like he's like, she's comforting him when everything's clearly not okay. You know, so really, really cool characters. I like them a lot. Very underrated. I think they're very overlooked, if you ask me. Now we got 2 versions of Bond. We got the main man, Mortality. Now he's definitely one of the top characters. Anything to do with Bond, in my opinion, is a top character. However, I do not think Mortality is as memorable as Pumpkin Rabbit. That could be a wild statement. So I'll put him top of A. And obviously, my boy Bond will go top of S for obvious reasons. It's Bond. I mean, Bond, self-explanatory why he's S. Mortality, for me, his jump scare is not as scary as the Pumpkin Rabbit. But when it comes to the Pumpkin Rabbit and Mortality specifically, I am always going to favor Pumpkin Rabbit in more. I think he's more memorable. His voice is more memorable. His jump scare is more memorable. I think, in my opinion, because this might sound like a wild statement, but because the video is more short and sweet in the mysterious house, it's easy for people to really go, I like that video, it's short and sweet, boom. Because I feel that video really feels like 5 minutes long when it's actually like 10, 12 minutes. So that's all the points I have for the Pumpkin Rabbit against Mortality. Mortality is still an awesome version of Bond, but for me, I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more of Mortality than we got. His jump scare is still awesome. But for me, his voice is also awesome, but I will always just favour the Pumpkin Rabbit to him. But they're really good characters regardless. I really love them both. Now we're on to Jenny. Jenny is a really interesting character. We're obviously going to see her a lot more in episode 7, which is Alice in Wonderland, of course. I'm pretty sure it's called Alice, but we're all assuming Alice in Wonderland for Wonderland reasons. I think Jenny is a valid statement for B. Not better than Ed and Molly, but because we get so much of Jenny in episode 3 and how she really like friends with Sophie, you can definitely see they care about each other. I'm pretty sure they're roommates or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the lore is, but Jenny's a really cool character. Hopefully we get more exposition with her and how she's more fleshed out as a character in future episodes, so it'll be really, really cool. We also have the Nightmare Billy from Boozoo's Ghost, which I will then put basically there in front of Shaq, because I think he's the scarier of the two. Now we have Shadow Man, which is also Felix, which means, well, this might not be Shadow Man, but we're just going to assume it's Shadow Man. So yeah, we'll have Shadow Man there because Felix is Shadow Man, confirmed by the Showstoppers album, by the way, so don't come at me. Now we got Shah. Very valid statement for A. Not better than Charles for me. I think Shah is a very good character though. Shah, awesome. It is Rosemary. She's creepy as all hell. Episode 3, of course. Awesome character. Awesome scares. Awesome voice. Awesome everything, to be honest. I really like Shah. We also have Sophie. Again, I think Sophie is top of A tier. For me, I will always have Sophie really high because of episode 3, because obviously she leads episode 3, and it seems to me that she's the protagonist of the whole series. Everything is always leading to Sophie. I mean, episode 1, it's like, they'll see you soon in the Lucky You teaser, they'll see you soon, Sophie. Everything's like going towards Sophie being the last remaining member alive of the Walten family. So I think it's very valid that she'll be the protagonist from leading on from, I'm assuming we're going to get little bits and pieces from her out of episode 5 and 6. Hopefully we might see an interaction between her and Rosemary, hopefully, because I feel like that'd be a real gut punch when Rosemary eventually bites the dust. But yeah, it'd be really cool. Now we obviously have it. I wonder who this character is. I have no idea. I'm absolutely no idea who this character is. No idea. Nah, this is of course Susan Woodings. In my opinion, now this might be wild, and I'm not just putting Susan in this category because the voice actor was in chat, okay? I'm not just saying this, but I think Susan's A tier, and hold the pitchforks for a minute. I'm not being biased. I'm going to give you my honest reasons why I think she's better than Rosemary, Ed, Molly, and Jenny and stuff. But basically, the reason I think Susan is an A-level character, because of her fleshing out of the character in episode 4, her fleshing out of the character, how basically everything goes down in episode 3 and episode 2. Because basically, we don't get much of Rosemary at all. We just see that she's killed. But obviously, we see her interact with, like, am I still beautiful to you, Sophie, in episode 3. But that's kind of all we get from Rosemary. Now, I guarantee you, after episode 5, whatever happens to Rosemary there, Rosemary's going to jump to an A. That's my honest reaction. But because we've gotten so much characteristics out of Susan, she's funny, she's caring, she actually likes her job. She obviously I said funny, but a really good sense of humor with her interactions with Charles and stuff like that. And also, I think she's just a bit of a badass as well. I think when it comes to the voice recording, well, the one called The First, or the one she's recording regarding like the Bond stuff, so she obviously makes the animatronics. She's one of like the really core characters in the whole series. She makes Bond, like she's the one who makes them, so, or at least works on them with Charles or whatever. So when it comes to her, I think Susan's a A-level character for me. Now we have one of the most underrated characters by an absolute mile, and that's TVA. Now for me, I think it's very hard to put him in B, but dude, I think he's going to go into a top of C for me for TVA, especially when you see him in the Mysterious House as well. Dude, I can't wait for episode 5, bro. It's going to be awesome. I also can't wait to do more 3D stuff. Dude, the 3D stuff in the Walten Files, I think Martin said it, that the Susan kill in episode 4, like, that was like a test of art style. I think Martin said that. I cannot remember where I saw it. I probably saw it on Twitter, knowing me. But I remember Martin coming out and saying basically that was a test run. So for all we know, whatever the next episode 5 and 6, whatever it's going to be with the real life animation, what he might go for, it might be a completely different art style, which I really like. So it's just more to like kind of look forward to. But I love everything, and I cannot wait for episode 5. I'm just really looking forward to seeing the promotional video for the Pumpkin Rabbit plushie, because I feel that, I don't know if Martin will put a teaser in there. He put in a teaser for the last plushie video. But yeah, there was like 0 3D in that, believe it or not. I know, that's the crazy thing. That's what got me interested, because we see the kill scene of Susan in a promotional video. So hopefully we'll get a merch teaser in the next merch video for the Pumpkin Rabbit plushie. Then we got Billy the Clown. Yeah, A tier for me. Below, yeah, I'll put Billy. I don't know, actually. That's a weird way. I think he's better than Susan. Yeah, I'm going to put him there just for now. Billy's awesome, dude. Oh, good luck, bud. Hey, I'm a H1 English student. That's all that matters. H1 English, H1 history. Come on. So, yeah, when it comes to, like, me getting sleep and stuff like that, it's like, oh, you know? So yeah, I remember when Martin said hit about his exams, I was like, oh, that hit me. Now we got Rocket. Okay, Rocket is a really interesting character, because we actually don't see Rocket. You know what I mean? We see Ed and Molly. So that could be really wild, you know? Rocket in B. Yeah, it's hard to really rank Rocket. I think he's awesome. But yeah, now we got Banny. I think this might be wild, the fact that all the animatronics are up here, except for Rocket. Well, Rocket's not an animatronic technically, but yeah. We got TVA, which is kind of a lackluster ending to it, because he's just the same character. But yeah, that's my ranking of the Walten Falls characters, everyone. We got Bon, Pumpkin Rabbit, Jack, Bon again, and Carlitos and Buzu in S. We got Susan, Mortality, Charles, Shah, Mr. Showbear, Susan, Banny, and Billy in A tier. We got Rocket, Rosemary, Ed, Molly, and Jenny in B. TVA twice. We got Ashley, Billy, Nightmare Billy, Nightmare Shah, Pete the Hippo, Witch Shah. We got what's her name? Holly, Brian, Richie, Billy again, Banny in C. Ghost Hunter, Chris, Random Guy. One of these is Kevin. I think it's this dude. Random Guy. Boozy from Boozy's Ghost. Linda, assumingly. Felix, and obviously Shadow Man again. So yeah, that's my ranking of the Walten Falls characters. First shot of this episode. Tammy picks this house.
Oh, what about that one?
Now, if you ask me, that is the worst house you can pick. It has wallpaper on the outside.